Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 194, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers who like to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every weekend, and we stream it on and we put it on all podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, so much more. So show us some love. Do us a favor, give us a like on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube or subscribe on YouTube, the CFG channel, or follow us on Twitch, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Well, I didn't do gaming, and I'll tell you why. Because I flew Ravage out, my moderator, I think for at least the last 4 years, because I think I've been streaming longer than that, maybe 5, 6. 2018 is when I started, so you guys do the math. I am brain dead at this point. This is my second, fourth shots of espresso. I've had 8 shots of espresso. Anywho, Ravage was in town. And we had a long weekend. I had a wedding. We had Smitty's birthday. We had a concert on Sunday, which was fantastic. We went and saw Baby Metal and Death Clock. So if you were a Adult Swim fan, you've seen the Death Clock. You know, he does all the voices. Face Bones like pops up on the screen. Like, it was just a very interactive show. We didn't take Opie because I couldn't find her comfort hoodie ear coverings. And I tried a bandana and like patted it, and she kept like taking it off. But where we were sitting at the Pearl Theater, if you are ADA like myself, the way they have you sat, you can see the entire area. It's a fantastic seating. If you have a service dog, no fear, their ears not gonna get hurt. I didn't even need to wear my concert earplugs, which are a thing. As we get older, you need to buy them. Even younger, you'll lose your hearing every time you go to a concert. So please invest in them. They're not expensive. And they make it so the sound quality is actually better if you happen to be standing too close to like a certain speaker. So I didn't stream while Rav was here because I was like, you know what? Let's just you're disabled. I'm disabled. We're exhausted from hanging out with Smitty. So let's watch some movies. And it turned out he hadn't seen.
No one can keep up with Smitty.
Dude,
I can't even keep up with Smitty.
Well, I pretend I can keep up with people, and then I don't tell them like, oh, I've been in bed for 2 days and I can't move and my hip is locked up. Thanks. But I'm not getting 1, not 2, but 3 massages this month because my body has been in so much pain. And she's Paulette. I love you, girly. So we just hung out. We had a lot of fun. I did a lot of research on like new games to play for the spooky season because I really do want to get back to a normal schedule. Things have died down, but now of course Mr. Herman has decided to fall apart on us. So it's, you know,
It just sounds
life
like you have a
is
lot
life,
of stuff
right?
going with. Yeah, no kidding, man. That's crazy.
I mean, I essentially, like, with all you guys have followed along with my Dead Dad clubs. Everything as far as like his storage unit, we're done with. So that's extra money in our pocket every month. I'm helping Jared fix up my dad's house. That's no money out of my pocket. And so basically we're able to get ahead financially now, which is great. But it feels like we fixed 10 things, and then something important like Herman, my dad's kitty, has decided to, and it turns out he didn't have cancer this whole time. He just had warts.
Gross.
That's nuts.
Well, they don't feel gross. They just feel like little moles on his body. And we're
Don't
like,
have to go into it. Thank you.
Oh my, you hate animals.
I take moles over cancer.
We're already
Yeah, that is true.
for-
That is very,
He's
very
right
true.
there. There's Mr. Herman. He's stumbling
Remember,
around.
Can't see it because
I
it's great.
know.
It's got a rectangle.
You could do my screen. You could switch.
I could, but I'm not.
I know. You're a DICK.
Oh,
But I love
come on. Anyways,
It's a
Boom.
boo.
but
I
Lex,
could pop out kids and it's
You know
fine,
who's
but I
not a
have animals.
DICK?
you know, you can't say that.
Ooh, I've got one. Wait,
Okay.
why is my something popped up on my screen? You know who would not have a litter of kittens if he had a choice between a human and having kitten babies? His
That
name
is so
is
random. Okay, the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Oh, another busy week, like you said. I am finally starting to feel like a human being again after that weekend. We didn't even make it to the final day of the festival. We didn't have it in us. It
I
just
don't
my
blame you.
body hurt, my everything. It was a wrap. But it was awesome. Again, huge. It was awesome seeing Rav and being able to kick it with Dust and Lexum and just get out and be outside was awesome.
He's
So
good peeps, am I right?
yeah, absolutely. Oh, I loved. Yeah, dude, I figured as much. It's just always cool being able to actually hang out with somebody IRL that you've known for years now on the internet. So you already basically know them. Just being able to then experience that in real life is nothing beats that. So that was awesome. We are enjoying your present, by the way. Fantastic. And gaming wise, dude, I'm basically trying to speed run through Miles Morales because Spider-Man 2 comes out. I don't know why I do this to myself.
I honestly don't even know. I don't know why you do that either.
Dude,
it is so weird. That game. When did that game come out? Like 3 years ago?
Something, dude. I've had it for quite some time.
Pause. Yeah. Wait, Davis sent you a birthday present? Is that what you said?
No. Ravage, I said Rav.
Oh, yes. My bad. I shut up now.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why. Because, dude, when it comes down to it, I am a procrastinator by nature. I have to go through many steps to get out of my own way and put myself in bad situations. That is the one thing that I just keep doing it with games. Like I get behind, or I'll be doing other stuff. Next you know, it's like, oh, I've got less than a week now. I better grind through this game. And then, like, my sleep schedule's been kind of weird too. So like, I don't even even when I'm gaming, I have to get up a lot of times or go do something or go and burn one or whatever. So like the sessions get broken up and stuff like that. And it never goes as quickly as I want to, but like, I'm trying to speed run it, but I'm not too worried about it because we also plan on picking up Mario Wonder. That's going to be a family game for sure. And I know we've talked about potentially playing it, doing a stream of it as well.
Lex,
so, I'm really pumped about that.
You actually brought that up. Lex, you have a Switch, right? Do you have a Switch?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were like wondering about it the other day. Yeah, we were kind of.
I was like, I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah,
because I kicked Doc's butt when we played it's the game where it's and then
Mario Party.
There you go.
Yeah.
We played Mario Party and I kicked Doc's ass like twice, and he was really upset because I had never played before. But yeah, Adam and I were like on our little tummies because the boys were Doc and Smitty were streaming. Adam and I, it's like our Sunday night, so we weren't planning on staying up late, but then we all got really competitive, and Adam and I are sitting next to each other on our stomachs, kicking our legs back, being all cute, playing on our Switches, and then I got stuck like that. But yeah, I do have a Switch. Why? What's coming out for Switch?
Well, because we were thinking about Mario Wonder, and we were wanting.
Wonder.
Yeah, because
Mario co-op up to 4 players.
I don't think I've seen that. I've seen Paper Mario, which I'm excited about. Hold on, let me look. I'll look.
Take a look at Mario Wonder.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's basically it's a platform. It's a 2D platformer, just like old school Mario, and it's and you can play, but it's multiplayer too. So like,
I just showed Lizard Elsa the trailer too, because she was like, dude, I've been talking about this. I was like, what are you guys talking about?
So 2D platformer, so I don't have to worry about falling like off.
Well, you can still fall. You can still fall off stuff.
You can still fall.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
But think of old school Mario, like old school Mario.
It's old school Mario.
Kind of like Sega, like the Lion King game or Aladdin, like that type of platformer.
Those were hard games too, dude.
Oh, I made Aladdin my beat.
I don't know. Like you're
beat that game once. I've beaten it like 7 times.
Yeah, those games were really hard. They were really hard for the time.
Those games had endings.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they do. They do.
I never beat Aladdin, but I did beat the Lion King, and the Lion King was annoying because of the jumps.
Yeah,
the jumps you have to do. Yeah,
and then
I do remember
you're
that.
running in the stampede, and like you don't know, because then there's rocks, and like you've got like a millisecond to respond. And if for some reason your little duder isn't plugged in properly, I'm talking like old school, it came loose a little bit, you're screwed. You're done.
Yeah. Like I remember
there's no saving and going
the
back.
one stage that has traumatized me still to this day in Lion King was the time when you're Simba as the cub, and then they're doing that song "Just Can't Wait to Be King." There's a stage that centers around it. Like, so you're jumping on like flamingo heads, hippos, and giraffes that are flipping. Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Yeah, if you're on the ground and you die, I'm like, oh my god, this is just too much.
That's crazy. Like, I'm a lion though. Why can't I be on the ground?
I know, right? It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Lava. Like, what is happening here?
The floor is lava. Maybe that's where it started.
Yeah.
It's too much logic. That's what it is going on right now. Yeah. So no, it was crazy though. But no.
But yeah, other than that though, focus on itty bitty gaming news. If you haven't had a chance, check it out. It's on YouTube. Just launched the podcast for that as well. So if you want daily, weekly little snackable bites of video game news, make sure you check that out as well. But all in all, it's been solid. Glad to be feeling good again. What about you, brother?
Yeah, man, I've been doing I've just been really busy too myself. I'm actually trying to finish up some of my RPG log right now, so I kind of came back on Tales of Arise. I also been having had an issue that I needed to take care of with the overlays here on CFG Game Cast. So we actually have a brand new set of overlays that I worked on. That looks actually, like I said, looks pretty nice now. So was working on that as well as just doing going through my regular job hunting while playing some Marvel Snap, which I'm about to be rank 100 again. So that's going to be
I need to get on it.
Yeah, I've been like, it's been really surprisingly like productive this week, surprisingly enough for me. So like I just got to take care of a couple of more things. Waiting and then waiting for some I'm kind of on the fence though. I've been debating if I wanted to file for unemployment or not, but like other than that, it's not that bad. But if I do, I've kind of been on the pros and cons on it so far, but it's all good. But it does but my Tales of Arise time, I've been doing a lot of getting a lot of stuff done there, so I'm actually surprised. Spears.
I saw you've been streaming it.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that series at all.
Tales? Oh yeah, Tales has been around forever. Yeah. It's a hit and miss. The one thing is that the game used to be multiplayer, but this one isn't. This one's a single player game. So this one's pretty fun. Yeah, because the all the stuff that you're doing is it's mayhem. When you're doing the fighting, it's just random mayhem that's currently happening too. Oh, I also forgot. I also did an interview with Jennifer Hale that we just released.
I was literally just about to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm just doing it like a side thing. Oh yeah, that's right. I talked to Jennifer Hale too. Like, yeah, we have the I did the podcast interview with her on the other podcast, Pop Culture Gems, that is now officially out for free. You can check it out on all podcast services, or you can go to our YouTube page, the CFG, to check out the interview. She is a really cool, down to earth person, and then I had a fun time interviewing her. And then next week we're going to have a special interview with talking to some of the voice actors that were a part of Spider-Man 2. So like I'm going to be talking to them as well. And you can get that interview early.
Stephen Young?
Yeah, Stephen Young. Got Stephen.
Oh, I love that dude. Yeah, dude, he is so cool. Yeah. I love that dude.
Dude, I will say this: everything that could have gone wrong on that interview went wrong. Like
oh no,
like it was terrible. It was ridiculous. So like
it wasn't recording. Like,
well, no, it was worse. So like we had a rainstorm the night before, and then I was like, okay, I thought that because usually here the rainstorms, like once it rains really hard, I lose power, and I was just assuming, okay, I'm gonna lose power, but it didn't lose power. So I was like, oh, cool, they might have fixed it. So then I was talking to his publicist, and then he was like, okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it at this time. Perfect. An hour before the thing, I lose power. And so so I lost power. It went, and it lasted, and I didn't have any power for 2 hours. So it went past the deadline. So I emailed them back the second I got my power back. I was like, hey, sorry, I lost power and we weren't able to do it. Or is there any way we can reschedule? And they were kind enough to allow me to do it later that evening. So that we do the interview. Wow. Yeah, we do the interview in the evening. And he lost power during halfway in the deal. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Jesus. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it was a trek. So yeah. So next, but it was a good interview though. But next week,
Right.
So definitely check it out on our next episode next week on Pop Culture Gems. It's gonna be a great one. So there was my story. Oh, and also before we do that, because remember I said that we promised inside our CFG member page, we actually have some members that I gotta give shout outs to before we start.
What?
So yeah, we got some members to shout out. So I'm definitely gonna do it. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Vicky G, Clara, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this wrong. Clarentinus? I think it's Clarentinus.
I can do names. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Teacher, teacher over here.
Yeah, it's only 3 people, but it's still something.
That's 3 people. That's awesome.
Huh?
What was the last name?
Clarentinus. I think Clarentinus, and then
thank you.
Yeah, and then Vivzy. So thank you so much for being a CFG member. Hope you're enjoying thank you for supporting us. Yeah, and just to let y'all know, if you the more CFG members that we get, the better the chances we're going to be able to do some more content, which we really like. I have something in store that I think folks will definitely love us to do. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for being a part of being a CFG member and supporting us. So thank you.
And just a friendly reminder, if you are sub to us on Twitch, we would appreciate it if you stopped that subscription and then became a member on our storefront, because A, you get a lot of extras, and B, half that money isn't getting taken away. So we can pump out more content for you essentially, and then you guys get to see it first. So
exactly.
In reality, it's the same amount of money, but it takes you further, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense to me. So there you go. Yeah, so just go so go to the cfg.store and become a CFG member, or check out the swag that we got over there. So that's awesome. So anyways, let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion in the world of video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, to be a part of the conversation. So if you want to chime in about whatever we talk about, by all means, just type it inside the chat. We will love to discuss it with you, and we'll make single out your question, and we'll have a good old discussion like we always do. So let's get this party started with me. So I am going to start it up. So I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and it would be impossible to not acknowledge this, because we've been talking about this for practically a year, off and on, and the trials and tribulations. Yeah, the trials and tribulations that has happened to try to get this thing off afloat. We thought that it was dead, then it came back. We thought it was dead again, then it finally came back. But now it is 100% official. Microsoft has purchased Blizzard, or Activision Blizzard, for the low discounted price of $69 billion. So yes, yes. So
dollars stolen money. Oh my goodness!
It basically pays for itself. You know, I mean, yeah. So no, it is amazing that they finally did it. So they've been going through a lot of hoops and hurdles. The biggest issue was because of the made it more complicated was Sony deciding to put their foot down on saying that it was going to be an issue of competition if they bought Blizzard Activision. So besides Sony being a roadblock, the commissions over in England being a roadblock, as well as some other ones, they had to do some tweaks and turns so they can get this to go through. But they finally did it. They announced this officially yesterday, at this time of recording on Friday, October 13th. Saying that they're now part of the Xbox family. So what does that mean for everyone else? So now, well, for me, awesome that it's done. I really kind of don't care overall. The only thing I cared about it. Well, you know what? I'm not tired of talking about it, but rather because now we know it's done. like at least we know that there's not any hoops or hurdles that it's doing that it's going to go through. We know they finally got what they wanted, and it's done. We can move on. The big thing I cared about is saying goodbye to Bobby Kotick and all his yes men on that deal. So Kotick right now right now I feel like this is not the last we're going to see of him. I just feel like we're going to see him in a different kind of light, just not Blizzard Activision.
God, no.
Yeah, I feel like
this isn't the end of his villain arc.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is just the beginning.
His last day at Blizzard Activision, he goes away like in Austin Powers, like in this egg-formed rocket into the sky, and that kind of thing. That kind of thing is going to happen. Yeah,
maybe it's made by who just shot off a rocket that looked like a man's appendage, and it blew up. Was that Amazon?
Oh.
It could have been Elon Musk.
It was probably Elon. So
yeah.
maybe he'll go out in a blaze of glory and not really
possibly.
Sorry.
Who knows? Has a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but like so Bobby Kotick is going to be officially leaving the company at the end of the year. He's going to be there for the transition for the next 3 months, and then at the beginning of 2024, he is quote unquote stepping down as CEO of Blizzard Activision. So so that's probably the best news out of from all of this that's currently happening. But I guess the biggest thing though too is also how's the integration is going to happen, like the interaction between Activision and Blizzard games to Xbox's Ether. Currently, it's going to stay the way it is for right now. It's going to take a while. Then 2024, that's when you're going to start seeing more more integration with the Xbox Live. Xbox Game Pass integration with Blizzard Activision. But from what Microsoft says right here, because this is a quote on Microsoft's webpage from the merger, under the restructured transaction, Microsoft will not be in a position to either to release Activision Blizzard games exclusively on its own cloud game streaming services, Xbox Cloud Gaming, or to exclusively control the licensing terms of Activision Blizzard games for the rival services. So that means that it's still going to be, they're still going to acknowledge multi-platform games like Call of Duty. The big one's going to be Call of Duty for them, and other games on other platforms, but they won't have any full control on making it exclusive for. To be honest with you, I don't know how long it has to be a certain period of time for them to be like, okay, now it's going to be safe for us to do this. So we'll see.
They probably have to ride out their established contracts that they already have going on. Mm-hmm. And then once those are done, then they'll be able to fully make decisions. They just have to see through the contracts that they're currently in, would be my guess.
Well, then again, though, too, but here's the thing, though, too, because remember one of the biggest problems was that people were worried about, especially the commission that was happening in England, was that they didn't want Microsoft to publish cloud service gaming through them because that'd be too much of an edge. So they have that Ubisoft agreement that they had to sign that with Ubisoft to be publishing games through a third party. So they also go in depth with that a little bit. They're saying that agreement provides Ubisoft with a unique opportunity to commercialize the distribution of games via just for the cloud streaming services itself. So they're going to get a little bit of a cut from that too, which is very interesting to me towards that. Now Microsoft for the cloud serving the cloud streaming rights to Activision Blizzard games like WoW, Diablo, and all that. It's also going to be Ubisoft that's going to be doing that, which is so I guess the real question is Battle.net going to still be around, or is it going to be
that was going to be my question. First order of business, get rid of Battle.net.
Oh my god, please. And I don't even play it anymore.
Yeah.
It's just at this point in time, it would just be a redundancy. You have their stuff's on Steam. You also have the Xbox Game Pass or the Xbox PC stuff as well. It would be completely like, why? And again, I don't know how easy it would be to do that. I don't know what that back end stuff looks like, but please, there's too many launchers. I want that to be consolidated. First order of business, obviously, or one of the first.
I concur. Yeah. I want to get rid of them. We were talking in the middle of a conversation and then I lose my train of thought. I don't ever have EA pop up because it's not one of those things that's like it automatically starts running when I don't play a lot of EA games. Why did it just pop up when I touched nothing and it's wanting me to sign in? Like, I'm sorry. No, I just want to delete all of these, consolidate so we have it all in one place, and they're just easy peasy lemon squeezy. Please.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, like Battle.net's older than Steam, which is they're the first one. Yeah, they're the ones that they started Battle.net like in like 95, 96 when StarCraft first came out.
That makes sense.
And stuff.
Yeah,
so like
now that you say that.
so like I'm just saying that like I mean, yeah, to consolidate would be great. I hope so. But to say that Ubisoft is the one that's going to be doing the consolidation, I wouldn't trust them with trust that as far as I could throw them. I mean, we've seen Ubisoft's online. That's just kind of.
I mean, and that's the thing that I guess I'm not understanding the Ubisoft puzzle within this and how they fit in. Like, I don't understand what it means within that deal for them that they're allowed to sell things via the cloud, or essentially it prevents Microsoft from exclusively. Like, I don't understand it.
Okay, so what it's saying is that if let's say that Microsoft decide, or they're wanting to publish a Blizzard Activision game through the cloud services, it's saying that Microsoft can't do the publishing directly themselves. So like let's say next year, for instance, the new God of War, the new Call of Duty that comes out won't be officially released by Microsoft. It'll be published out by Ubisoft. That's going to go through the digital publishing. So it's not going to be exclusive. It's not going to be exclusively Microsoft is publishing it out. It's going to give Ubisoft a chance to get that money, that bit of the money for them to do what they need to do with that.
Well, and I'm curious too. Why Ubisoft? Why was it them that got these rights? Why not somebody else?
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they could have been. Yeah. I mean, we don't know the conversation that they had. Just Ubisoft was the one that could have been the winner of all of that.
It was negotiations we didn't hear about.
Yeah, so I honestly don't know why they were.
I think too the other huge kind of understated thing is that they also got Kings, which does a shit ton of mobile games. There is a journey. Huh?
Yo, I don't think Kings is understated at all. If anything, Kings is probably the biggest piece of them all.
To me, that's the biggest.
That's their moneymaker.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna keep them in business.
Like, everyone's been talking about Call of Duty and stuff like that, and I just feel like, I don't know, man. Like, Kings, like, yo, dude, those are like money printing. Like,
think of all the stay-at-home moms that play Candy Crush from the moment they wake up to the moment their kids fall asleep at night, and in between when they're at school. Candy Crush is huge.
Well, I mean, just in general, Kings in general is only made by their push is the fact that their games are made to print money. That's all it is. I mean, the open-ended games is meant to just basically closest thing as a slot machine as you possibly can on your phone.
Good way to get some capital to do some crazy things.
Exactly. Is this that Activision Blizzard just has such a storied like line of games of like, you know, family games and stuff, like especially when you have Blizzard in their heydays and their prime in their prime time and stuff like that. Then you also know that Activision's big money piece was Call of Duty and still probably it still really is, you know. And
Overwatch now is there.
Yeah, Overwatch. I mean, but is Overwatch really as big as it once was? I mean, they pretty much did a good job killing itself, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? Maybe there's things that get incorporated or changed or whatever. Like, I think there's still that, like, that's kind of like the excitement to me, is that we don't know. We're talking about IPs that can get revived. Microsoft has money to be able to do things like that. So we'll see what they look to do with all these new IPs that they've acquired. But to me, it's really exciting. I think it could, moving forward, again, this is the point that we're getting to a point where, like, we can no longer say that, and not because they're developing them themselves. They've just gobbled up a bunch of studios, but you can't really say that Xbox doesn't have games. They still are looking to build that out, but, like, I mean, hell, man, like, they've got a lot of stuff under their belt that they can do what they please with now.
I'm just saying
which is interesting.
I will say this though, because like I think that even though that Microsoft did buy Activision, Activision Blizzard, great thing that they did, it still will take time to change that culture of the of what was left with that Kotick did on the from this company. So I guess the thing I'm really kind of wanting to look out for is to see how they will do better on like what they're expecting to do, because like they need to they're obviously upper management is gone. There's no way that I can see, like I already said that, like I do Kotick, there's no way Kotick was going to stay on, as well as the board and stuff that was letting him deal with whatever they're going to take their money and they're going to leave. But then at the same time, they're going to have to place people that they know that they're going to trust, that they're going to trust to see if they're going to kind of get back at it to make Blizzard as good as it once was, you know. So I'm sorry, what were we going to say, Lex?
I almost wonder, and someone had asked me about it, because I get sent a lot of like gaming news stuff through like day and night and things like that. And he's not here right now, but he had like posed a good question. He goes, since Bobby's gone, do you think Microsoft will ask those who were the heart of Blizzard and really into keeping the company alive and putting out great content if they will try to get them back? I would, as that would be a genius move if they could. Are they willing to at this point? I don't know if it's irreparable or not. But I mean, you never say never. And we were it felt like we were friends with them when they would bring out updates and talk about, the shorts and things like that, because they really were the heart of it and they were really into it, like they should be, and they had passion. And I think that's what we're lacking in a lot of stuff now. Like I know Redfall has since had an update. I haven't touched it. Like you betrayed me from day one. Okay, look, it's gonna take me a little bit to be like, all right. I've had a few friends be like, all right, let's play. And in that scenario, I think that's okay. But bringing back on the A team now that B and C is gone, like why not?
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't take it from the realm of possibility for that to eventually happen. I mean, to say if Cory Balrog? No, what's Cory Balrog? Is it? No, it was someone else. The original, one of the original founders that was the director of Overwatch. What was his name?
I can't remember. I'm terrible.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan. Thank you.
There you go, Kaplan.
Yeah, Jeff Kaplan.
Bring him back.
To say, because like the reason why he left was there was a reason why. He obviously didn't trust upper management as well, for all good reason. Yeah, so like so I'm just saying that like if they're going to like if someone's going to come back on that, I'm sure, but they would have to show, I mean they would, like I said, it's an uphill battle. You're going to have to change departmental level of stuff to change all that, to do that, and actually have a person that will be willing to do the work to do it. If they do something like that, it's not going to be something that's going to be, it's going to take time to do.
It will be years down the road.
Yeah, it's going to take very good time.
Stabilize. And again, at this point, and think about the video game culture in itself. Hell, think about the games that came out this month alone. There's so many good games out there. It's not worth, I think, a lot of time for people to even go back to games that have died off, because there's a good chance it just have left a sour taste in people's mouth. They've already moved on to other games. I think as a developer, you would end up wasting time and resources trying to revive something as opposed to going and moving forward and trying to do something else. There are some games that I think Overwatch could be one of those games, because I mean they're still supporting it. There is still a community, even though it's a shadow of what it was. I mean, basically, Miami Mayhem won the Overwatch League, and their sig out was a very heartfelt thing, because basically, they're saying this form of the Overwatch League is basically dead. They're giving folks the opportunity to walk away from their franchise. They're going to pay them out. I think it was like $25 million. So only a portion of what they poured in, or it might not have even been $25 million, but some sort of compensation from them backing out, and then they just walk away. So that iteration of the Overwatch League, I'm pretty sure, is dead, and they treated it as such but there's still going to be something, and there is still a community. If you could do something where you were to bring in like a Kaplan and some of those other folks, and they were to go back and try to recapture that vision that they had, but even now, and like what we were talking about, it is something that would take years to be able to develop, move forward with, implement, and then obviously push out to the masses. So,
yeah, but like I mean, I think it really depends. Like you're saying, I think it really depends on the project. Like if it was a game that was okay, if it was a game that was game as a service, you may have a possibility to say if it's worth it or not. Like I mean, like for instance, like Destiny 2 or something like that. And like you were saying with like Overwatch 2, it's possible. Like let's say like Overwatch 2's problem was that they lied to everybody. Like they did. They lied to everybody. They lied that they said that Overwatch, the emphasis of Overwatch 2 was going to be a PvE situation. They lied saying that the experience was going to be like the reason why they were moving everyone to 1 to 2 was to give everyone the full equal experience before the PvE comes out. Like they just did terrible PR and no transparency to their whole community, and they were just completely lying to everybody towards it. So like now if like what's to fix Overwatch 2? Give what they were saying that they were going to promise in the first place. So that's going to cost, yes, it will take time to do the PvE, but now that if they have an infinite resources like what Microsoft has to back them up, who's to say, especially Microsoft are the people that like, because Microsoft likes to say, okay, we're the main people, do what you're wanting to do, and then we'll determine what's it called. Like for instance, I think a prime example of that is Starfield. Starfield was originally supposed to come out the beginning of this year. Microsoft said no, polish it up a little bit better, move it back 6 months, take your time. Once it comes out, then we'll do it. They gave them the time, and then it's the same kind of situation I think that they could easily do for Overwatch.
On the flip side, the same time did get given, but not as much. The same care was not given to Redfall as was Starfield.
That's why I know it's like not everyone's equal.
Like, even then, I'm just like,
yeah, but not everyone's equal. But hey, you just spent $69 billion on this company. I'm pretty sure it's going to be white glove services for these people.
Right? Yeah. There was something else. I was gonna say another example kind of that is that look at Counter-Strike 2. Counter-Strike 2 launch. They have since come back, and again, this is free to play, but they've come back and said they are no longer gonna support Mac OS at all or 32-bit operating systems moving forward. They said so. They've created a frozen state of CS:GO that folks can do, and they have until December 1st. To get a refund if they made any purchases within CS:GO, because they forced everybody to Counter-Strike 2. They, so they're gonna go back and retroactively do that. That in itself, like I think that is the difference. There's at least an opportunity to be like, oh, let me then go back to this state and erase this money that no longer is gonna work. The fact that they're not even gonna worry about Macs, I was like, gosh, damn.
Yeah,
that should tell you a lot about Mac. Apple and gaming.
Here's the thing too, as far as Macs, I've never been like, oh yeah, let me download some of my Steam. No,
right.
I have a Mac. I love my Mac, but my Mac is for separate things, right? Like I've always treated my MacBook Air as that's my computer that I do like work on, like spreadsheets and when I did do a little bit of photoshopping back in the day for a company I worked for, they required that we had our own Mac, and they compensated us for purchasing them. But my Mac has never been like, oh, I'll just game on that. Absolutely not. And unless it's like, solitaire. That's it.
But there's a lot of people that do game on Mac, and it doesn't make it. It makes like literally 1% of their market. Hence why they were okay with doing this. So it's not a big amount of people, but there are people. I feel bad that, again, I feel like Apple's kind of always gotten the shaft when it comes to gaming on their system.
But they don't seem open to working with companies more or less when it comes to that kind of thing. iPhone, that's a separate thing, but when it comes to like Steam having availability for Mac Store, like it just they don't seem like they really want to work with companies. It's our way or the
Right.
highway, which is fine, but you can't get mad when people are it's 1% of the player base that are using
Yeah,
Macs to play, you know?
absolutely.
All
And
right.
not only
So,
that, but they also gave them a solution
mhm.
for it as well. They're like, look, we're gonna keep up with the technology here. We're gonna give you guys a frozen state of CS:GO that you can use, and you have until December 1st to issue you a refund if you've paid any funds towards this. I think that's fair. But
More
at the
than
same
fair.
time, yeah, at the same time, I understand why them as a company are like, look, dude, we're not. It's too much of a pain in the ass to try to keep up with this old technology. We're just gonna stick and move on where the technology is and where the majority of our user base is. So
All right.
just a big difference from what we experienced with Overwatch 2 and how they handled things. So
Well, yeah. Well,
yeah,
let me
no, huge though, huge.
closing
Huge.
that up though. I will say this: I think we'll definitely need this. We're definitely got to see where they're going to go with this, and maybe
This
hopefully
ain't
the
the end of
last,
this.
yeah, and hopefully the last
Yeah.
time you'll ever hear it from this show. Fuck Bobby Kotick. So there you go. So Lex,
Fantastic.
are you still messing with your deck list this whole time?
No, I was trying to my headphones because for some reason Smitty's very low for me. I almost
Oh,
I'm wondering if maybe it's a me issue. Um I mean I could it was
Yeah.
at 95, but no, that way because they're the ones that reverberate in my ears, I was
Mm.
clipping it to the back of my head so it would quit slipping every time I put my head back to relax. So my topic, actually, Smitty talked about it this week on his little itty bitty Smitty news. But somebody had sent me the video. Now, we all know I play horror games, and if I'm being honest,
Mm.
usually when I get spooked, it's because I'm standing behind like Chrissy Pickles, who might yelp because something startled her, or like we're running from something. It's like, ah, I'm having fun with it. Am I genuinely spooked? Most of the time, no. Um, and there is a game called Don't Scream. Now, it uses your microphone. You can talk while you are playing. However, you need to talk at like a lower register, right? So while you're playing, you're walking through what looks like found footage of a forest, and it's 18 minutes long. Now, if you scream at any point while things are jumping out at you, chasing you, what have you have to start over. And I want to say hold my Red Bull, hold my cappuccino because I think I can do this first try. Um I'm so desensitized at this point. There are days where I notice like I'm a little more jumpy, but I think that's due to outside stressors in my
And,
life.
and the crazy
But
caffeine that you drink.
well, I do drink pre-workout, but I just had a cappuccino and calm down. Look, my dad had like an antique cappuccino machine. I'm so proud of myself. I figured out how to make it work. But anywho, yeah, I didn't drink any pre-workout today, so like I'm kind of like I'm ready for a nap here. Now there is I'm trying it keeps saying early access when you look at it on Steam, but that isn't going to happen until October 27th. So if you've seen this game and you see what looks like people playing it, it doesn't seem that anyone has had access to it yet. Now it is an independent company. We'd kind of where did my Steam page go? Give me just one second. I lost it. So let me give you a little synopsis. So it will say when you go on to like, where it says like on Steam, like add to wish list, following, ignore.
yeah.
You can add to wish list. Now, usually if it's early access and you're able to play, even if it's more of a shortened version, it'll have it on that line next to view your queue in between the on the wish list.
Mhm.
Underneath it, it says early access, get instant access and start playing. I I don't see anywhere that that is possible, even on their Discord, none of that. It seems that October 27th is the official gameplay reveal. Now,
Mhm.
they did show some gameplay on October 13th. But let me give you a little about the game. Before buying, this is a short horror experience designed to make players jump. Think of it as a scare simulator. Don't expect a storyline, just one primary challenge. Don't scream. Simple enough for anyone, even your mom. Seriously, challenge your mom to play. Might be a fun idea if you talk to your mom. If you scream, you restart. Don't Scream is an Unreal Engine 5 short horror experience inspired by 90s camcorder found footage. Is this going to make me dizzy is my question, but from what I can see, no. Made by 2 indie devs, the challenge is simple. Explore the mysterious Pineview Forest for 18 minutes without screaming. Sounds easy, right? But there is a catch. Time only progresses as you move. You cannot stop. If you stop, the timer stops. You cannot predict the scares. You must calibrate your microphone in game so that every whimper, jump, or even minor squeak is registered as a scream, increasing the challenge. With dozens of dynamic scares, each playthrough offers a unique new experience. It's the perfect game to scare the pants off your friends and family. Our lead play tester, also my wife, is currently in clinic recovering. So you do have to have a microphone to play. If you don't, you can't. So Don't Scream challenge you not just your nerves, but your voice control. Here's what to expect. 1, calibrate your microphone. Set it up in game. It's not just text stuff. It defines your challenge. A mere squeak or quiet should be flagged as a scream, causing you to restart. Mind your voice. You can talk during gameplay, but keep it low. So slightly softer than your normal. Similar to this. Too loud and it is game over.
See, I was going to say, like, it's going to be virtually impossible to stream this if that's the case.
No. Well, it's only 18 minutes, right? So think about it. If you're 5 minutes in, you scream, you have to start over. You can talk to your chat, play fair. You could bypass these calibrations to shout through scares. And it shows you, like, this is where you can talk and you're okay. If you gasp and it goes over this little line, then game over, right? So play fair. You could bypass calibrations to shout through scares, but it would spoil the thrill. For a genuine horror experience, play it as designed. Disclaimer: we accept no responsibility for any underwear that may become unusable should you play our game. Love it. So again, October 27th is the early access. I'm stoked. It is on my wish list. I will absolutely be playing this. Hold my Red Bull, hold my cappuccino or my latte, because this girl, I will drink pre-workout to get me amped up, which makes me a little jittery. And sometimes my nerves are a little heightened. And I think I can bypass this first try. What do you boys think? Obviously, I don't think Davis wants to touch this one, but I'm curious as to your thoughts. Boys, please regale us.
This is not a game that I would be able to do. I would never be able to finish it. I can tell you that right now.
We're playing Labyrinthine later, so
I think it would be perfect for Smitty while he's drinking his IPAs of what's it called?
I think part of the challenge too is talking throughout at the same time as well.
That's why you calibrate it properly so that it registers the gasps, screams, all of that. Yeah. And I think as a streamer, I'm just putting this out there. If you are going to stream this, every time you go to start your new stream, you need to calibrate this in front of your audience, or they can call BS on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, no, this is definitely not my thing. But like I would totally be like totally. Yeah, that's.
It changes each time too, right? It's not the same. Like every time is a new one. It's not like pre. Like it sounds like it might be procedurally generated in terms of like when the scares happen and stuff like that.
So you may see the same characters, but not at the same time frame in a different round, or maybe you don't see that scare for 5 rounds, or however. Every playthrough is unique as far as where the scares come through, where the jump scares, and maybe also the sound coordination with them. So that's what I have read to expect. Could that be a
I,
little
I'm, I'm
different?
Mhm.
I'm curious to see how much this is going to cost. How much would you say that this would be worth to
It's gonna
you?
be.
What
I think
would
it's gonna
you
be
be
cheap.
willing to pay?
$5 or $10. I mean, it's an 18-minute game. You said, right? Like, there's no way that
Correct.
it's no way it's gonna be super expensive. I mean,
I can't
I will say
imagine,
this.
but it.
I will say this: the
But
look of the look of the forest. I mean, they really did capture the take of a camcorder on this. It's actually at first when I
UE5
looked,
is incredible.
yeah, when I looked at this, I was like, wow, is this really a camcorder shot? Because it looks like it's real, almost real. Besides
Yeah.
Yeah.
besides the little thing coming out of the screen, yeah, that would be a little bit different. Yeah, besides
It'd be
that
like
part.
$6. Yeah, I think that's reasonable for sure.
Well, and I think too for an early access, for instance, like I play Labyrinthine. Now, this Labyrinthine is a lot more elaborate than what this is. Granted, of course, it does look like 90s found footage. It looks fantastic. I'm sure the scares are, custom and they worked really hard on it. I would expect $15.99 and under.
I think
Just
it's good. Yeah,
because, you know what
that's
I
a good
mean?
one.
Like, it's an 18-minute game. Obviously, you can play it over and over and over, and it's a different experience almost every single time. However, I think for what it is, I would expect $8.99.
Mhm.
But if it's
Mhm.
between, if it's up to $15.99, I'm still willing to pay for that. So it's really more for us horror gals and
Yeah,
ghouls and guys who enjoy these games, what you're willing to pay for something like this. But again, I play a lot of early access games like Devour, Labyrinthine, and they are all like $9.99. So I would
yeah.
be
Yeah.
shocked if it's more than that as far as price range goes. But
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we'll see. This is definitely up your alley, though. It's not.
I was gonna say the fact that it's early access too means that there's got to be some sort of plans to
right.
develop it into more than what it is. So
Yeah,
I'd be curious to see this. I think this is just the first snippets of a much larger project.
this game
Agreed.
absolutely needed to come out before Halloween. That's why it's probably early access is
Yeah,
27.
perfect. Yeah,
You know what sucks
yeah,
though is the next day is Alan Wake too.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude, October is jam packed.
Jerks! Like, why
Next-
did y'all do
yeah.
that to me?
Next week alone, I
They-
mean, you got Mario Wonder,
They
and you
moved it
also got
because of Spider-Man and Mario Wonder because they
Yeah.
were originally supposed to be the week of the 20th.
and Sonic.
Well, I ain't playing those, but yeah, no, all of my horror games are coming out like one after the other. I'm like, gosh dang it.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Oh,
like
okay.
that this seems to be a solo game because I do like playing games by myself sometimes. I love my Spoopy Crew. I have Spoopy Crew 1 and 2. But I also enjoy being able to play games by myself and
Yeah.
interact with chat because I feel like I do have to kind of mind how much I talk because I don't mute because then I forget to unmute and then I ruin the game for everybody. So,
We'll see. Yeah.
you know,
I'd love to see that in VR, by the way. I think
There-
this would be amazing.
Hell no.
if you look in their Steam in their community tab, people are asking, will this be in VR? If
Hell
it goes on VR,
no.
I will be also playing it in VR.
Oh my God.
I would.
But I will be sitting,
would
calm down,
easily
everyone.
watch people
I'll
play that
sit.
game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't do it.
People have to
I'll
give me money.
watch
Yeah, no,
people
you
do it.
have people do it. You have a VR setup already. It's just waiting for you to get in, but you're like, nope,
I
not
will
doing
watch
it.
people in VR.
Not me. It's like, hey, that was no part of the rules.
That's too close. That's too close.
Yeah, that's too close. That's way too close here. Yeah, no. Oh, that's funny. Nightmare says I would not be able to play this game. I would be too chicken crap to play this. I can't watch anything that's camcorder POV. I would agree.
I'm
I totally
shocked
agree.
because
Same nightmare.
Mick would not be able to play this. She would just stand still. Nightmare, I feel like would be like, you know what? I've had a few cocktails tonight. Screw it. Let's try. I
see
would
it.
happily play or be in voice chat with you, Nightmare, while you play if you do want to
Oh,
play
man.
it. But yep, that was my topic for this evening.
All right.
From my spooky crew.
Smitty,
Yeah, we're gonna
Close
make
this-
this quick.
close us off. What do you got?
Yeah, so obviously, I'm sure you guys have heard the news. PlayStation, Sony has announced their PS5 Slims, both the disc and digital version. There's not a whole lot of changes. I would say, I mean, just out the gate, I think if you already own a PS5, I'm not even looking at the Slim. However, it might be a good time if you haven't gotten one yet to jump in now. They're both going to have a terabyte SSD, which means you're going to probably end up with like 800 and something gigabytes of actual usable space that you can use. However, you are still able to change out the drives. There are internal drives in there as well. It seems like they did something with the panels, and they've even come out with things for like the side panel colorings for this stuff. They're looking to basically, these are going to phase out the big clunky PS5 versions. The big thing though is that the digital for this is actually like $50 more expensive than the big digital. There's also a separate optical drive that you can buy for it for $80, which actually puts you above the price for the PS5 with the digital already, or with the disc already. So make sure if you're, it just doesn't seem worth it to me to get the digital. If you're going to lay down the money, get the disc one. It's kind of weird. It also comes with a horizontal stand, but not a vertical stand. It's an extra $30 for the vertical stand, which is weird. This feels very Apple-ish to me. Like, I'm not even going to give you all the pieces that we used to give you, but you can purchase them separately at the low Sony price of $30.
Wait a second. With the original, it came with the stand already included, right?
Well,
it does come with a horizontal stand. This one will not come with a vertical stand. The one for the base was both. I think you could
vertical
do
and horizontal. Yeah, they did both. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, first off, I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me on their pricing. Like, okay, so because like I can understand if a year ago, I believe it was a year ago, they jacked the price of the PlayStation 5 itself to all other countries except for the US. So if they did the jack up, if they increased the price if the US price increased at the same time as that, I can understand the justification of what they're doing now. However, since they didn't do it, it feels like they're punishing you for a digital copy, the full digital version, and then if you change your mind, because like look at it this way, you have 3 different kinds of transactions that you would eventually have to do. You would have to get the vertical stand, $30. They already bumped you up $50 on the base price of $400, and they're going to jack you up another $80 for if you're wanting to get a disc version. Hopefully that doesn't come to that case. That means that you already spending about almost $150 up on your markup for your base at $450. So you're hitting almost close to $600 on your initial digital price, which is crazy to me. I'm just like, what is going on, dude? Like and then $30 for a vertical stand itself. For something that you already proved that you could do both vertical and a horizontal before on top of that is it's like I don't understand it. Like, where is this coming from? Like at all? Like it just like I've never seen a second gen of the same system go up in price as opposed to because usually the second gen version is they found a way to make it cheaper to make for the same outcome. This one is it's actually plus than minus now. It's a smaller size. Everything looks a little less compact and stuff. And it increased the hard drive space to a terabyte, which shouldn't even really be for an M.2 terabyte. It's not that much comparatively. So like I just don't understand what the hell is this? It's
I called it
so weird.
I called it when they first announced their biggest one for the big PS5. And I was like, that's not nearly enough for people. That's not enough internal memory. Like it was 725, I think, SSD, which comes out to like 600 and something
gigs.
And it wasn't. It instantly wasn't enough. We all knew it. And I was like, I guarantee they're gonna put it in the next model they come out with. And here it is. We threw in a whole terabyte this time, everybody. It's just crazy to me. Like I feel like Sony has gotten on that kind of like that Apple-ist, like, hey man, you're paying half the prices for the name, baby. You know what I mean? That sleek look we got. And like, it's like, dude, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, just give me something good. Like, this seems, I don't know, man. It doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right to me either.
It's definitely not an iteration to jump to if you already own. As a matter of fact, I say look to get version 1 now while you can, because when they're done with it, they're not going to manufacture the bigger versions anymore. They're moving with the slims moving forward, and then I'm guessing we'll get a pro at some point in time as well.
I don't think they're going to go for
the future.
I don't think they don't really need a pro, to be honest with you. I mean, like,
they don't need it, dude, but they'll do it. If they can scrape more money out of people, why wouldn't they?
We're already at year 4 on the PlayStation 5. I mean, you don't think that they're going to be already thinking about the next gen after that? I mean, the Pro was announced 3 years. The PS4 Pro was announced 3 years after the PS4 came out, but they needed. But PS4 needed it. They needed it for the 4K 60 for the 60 frame. This one doesn't really need it.
But I think that the cycle kind of got messed up with the pandemic as well. And I don't know that our typical life cycle of consoles, I don't know if that applies or if they are applying the same rules as they did before, simply because of the issues with the pandemic. It was almost like, even though they launched, it was almost like they lost like a year and a half worth of regular stuff. Although, even though governments were throwing out money and people were able to do it, but then they had issues with getting chips and manufacturing and stuff like that. So I totally understand that, but I wouldn't, I'm still not 100% convinced that they don't do that and they stay along the same track for the life cycle.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So $4.99 for the regular PlayStation. How much is the Slim again?
$4.99.
It's $4.99 for the one with the disc. The problem is the discless one is the one you're going to be paying a lot more for in the long run. Because the discless one used to be $400 at the market. So if you're wanting to get a discless one, we're saying try to get one now because it's at $400. And then, but if you wait and you get the slim version of the discless one, it's going to be $450. It's $449.99. Then on top of that, if you want the stand, Then on top of that, if you want the stand, so let's say theoretically that you're not worried about any disc product anymore anyway. So you're going to stay discless. For $30 more, you have to buy a vertical stand if you want the system to go vertical. Because to be honest with you, I think more people put that PS5 vertical than they do horizontal, in my opinion.
I would assume as much.
Do you, Smitty? Yeah. So
mine's vertical. But
I love vertical more than the horizontal version of it. So so something that should have been pre-packaged, just like you were saying with Apple, like they should have put a charger on their phone. They're saying that you have to charge extra. They're charging you extra.
Y'all got so many chargers anyway. We're just gonna stop doing it.
Yeah, I know, right? Now they got lazy. Now they're on USB. You remember FireWire or whatever it is? Now they're like, oh no, yeah, we're going to use USB-C now, like everyone else now. It's like, so now you're proving the point of what everyone said that you could have done a long time ago. So no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you just wanted to be dicks about it for over the past 15 years. Yeah. So no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, forget Apple.
I feel like I need a spreadsheet
like that, but we're just thinking in terms of the United States. It's even more expensive in other countries because on top of this price increase, they already had the price increase from before, like Davis was talking about from a year ago. So it's like even more expensive over there to get this stuff. It's crazy, man. Like it is crazy, but you've got all kinds of these weird peripherals that they're coming out with. They had the earbuds, they had the other handheld thing, which again, they sold out of those things. Like apparently I'm underestimating. Apparently I'm underestimating the Sony fan base.
I thought it was going to fail.
I thought it was going to flop and fail and flop, and it did not.
Wow.
So they like Apple, look, dude, we can put out a turd with freaking PlayStation on it, and people are going to buy it. You know what I mean? That's just that they are at that point now.
I totally underestimated. We are seeing it
selling a vertical stand. They're going to sell out of vertical stands.
Yep. What were we going to say, Lex?
Well, and I'm always somebody that if for my PlayStations, I've always liked having the disc option because if we lose internet or power, I have a portable charger essentially that I can plug my PlayStation into or my TV, and I can watch a movie as I fall asleep without having power. So I've
Exactly.
always gone for the disc version.
Me too.
First off, the Slim doesn't even look that much smaller. What is it?
It
An
really-
inch
It's
smaller?
20% smaller, 25% or 30% smaller or
Oh,
something like that.
Take
so.
your 20% and shove it
yeah.
up your butt. No, I'm good. If I get a place,
I mean, I get it because the PlayStation is freaking huge. Like,
It is a big
Yeah.
it's
system.
ridiculously huge.
I
So,
want
like-
to
I
see.
can appreciate that.
Here's
but-
my thing. I'm very visual. So like you guys are talking prices. I'm comprehending this. But
Mhm.
then I need like a spreadsheet. Like how much was the original? How much are you going to pay for the Slim plus if you get the accessories or just by itself? Can I see a side by side of the difference? You know what I mean? Like I'm one of those people.
Here's the
So
thing from the blog, from their blog
Okay.
directly as well.
Yeah, but we'll.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not. I mean, we'll. I mean, I think it's not going to slow it down in any way.
People are gonna
I mean,
buy
it's,
it.
It's going to be
for
Christmas
me is
season.
if you don't own it, you know what I mean? Like, or if you're thinking about it and you're thinking about going discless, I would get a discless version 1. I would just get a version 1 in general. Essentially, the version 1s are getting phased out.
I prefer
These
the
are
version
going to
ones.
be the only version of PlayStation 5s that you'll be able to get in the future once that stock runs out. So
Yeah,
just keep that in mind moving forward.
yeah, that's true, folks.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to episode number 194 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We will be back again next week with a whole new set of different kinds of topics that we would love to discuss with everyone here. But if you did miss out on this episode today, that's perfectly okay. We release it on all podcast services, Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, everything at the beginning of each and every week on Monday. So also do us a favor and just give us a like or a check mark of +5 on the podcast reviews. Those actually do go a long way, so appreciate it. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices.
No, there isn't.
Guys, also be sure to go check out Pop Culture Gems. We just released a new episode of Pop Culture Gems, talking to the legendary voice actor Jennifer Hale, which we had a really cool discussion on as well. So definitely check that out. But in the meantime, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing out. Y'all, take it easy.
Bye.